What's good, World Squad? Back at you guys with another video. And on today's episode, I want to discuss 10 common mistakes that Amazon sellers make, mostly beginners, but I've come in contact with experienced sellers that still make some of these mistakes. If this is your first time watching this channel, my name is Travis Cooper. I'm the creator of Amazon Made Easy, the program that gives you the blueprint to buying back more of your time so that you can stop trading your time for money. Hey, I don't want to waste your time. Thanks for watching this video, so let's get straight into it. So common mistake number one. Let's say you were limited in capital, started this business, right? You've grown this business to, whatever your target per month is, whether it's $5,000, $10,000 a month, and you still continue to be on the free software, the individual account. You don't upgrade to the pro account. You don't want to use any paid software because you think it's going to take away from your business, right? One thing you need to realize is even if you started with limited capital, you have to get to a point where you're willing to reinvest those profits back into the business. The paid software like Scanlister, Inventory Lab, Scout IQ, whatever that you use, and those repricers are going to help you scale to the next level, right? So it's okay to invest those profits back into the business because think about it, it's going to help you grow exponentially, right? Because we can't physically, even if you started at the beginning, just repricing manually, going in every hour, every 2 hours and changing your prices to keep them competitive in the marketplace. I mean, after a while, you're going to have so many different obligations. You need to outsource this. So you can outsource it by hiring somebody, whether it's a virtual assistant or a physical employee, or you can leverage apps and software to do the same job. So 9 times out of 10, that monthly subscription, whether it's $30, $50, $100 a month, break it down over a 30-day period. So how much money are you paying per day? If it's $100 per month subscription, that's just a little over $3 per day to take care of that task and take that off of your plate. Always keep your mind open and be willing to invest into your business to help you scale and grow to the next level. Common mistake number 2 is not venturing out into the international market. I know a lot of us are from the States, or the people that's watching me are from the States, but you want to venture out because Amazon makes it easy, especially if you're doing FBA. Let me make sure to say that if you're doing FBA, because the system is already set up for you, right? So why not sell in Canada and Mexico, and they expanded now to these different marketplaces? As long as Amazon has the infrastructure, once you ship it into Amazon's fulfillment center, they're going to take care of all the heavy lifting. So the offer that you don't make into these different countries is the offer they can't take. So be sure to have your items or your inventory all over. Don't just limit yourself to just the United States. Expand into different marketplaces because that will increase your sales and of course increase your bottom line inside of your business. Mistake number 3 is not checking your account health at least once a week. So even if you have this business automated, it's a good idea to either you yourself go in and check that account health just to make sure everything is everything inside of that, or designate a specific person or a VA to go in and just look at, let's make sure your metrics are right, that order defective rate is not going over the limit, you're shipping your orders on time if you're doing merchant fulfill. Also, your A to Z claims are up under that 1% limit. So just go in. It's a good idea to always go in and check and see what's going on, if you got any warnings or anything on your account, so that you could be proactive, not reactive. We want to address the problem before it turns and it snowballs into something bigger. Over my 13 years on Amazon, if you jump on top of the issue immediately, you'll have a greater chance of finding a solution and resolving it. The next common mistake, and this is mostly with beginners, number 4, is thinking you have to get ungated in every category before you start listing and making money on Amazon. I know you guys may watch other YouTube videos, this, that, and the other, and they make it seem like, oh, everything is gated. I have to get ungated before I can even start selling anything on Amazon. This is not the case. It's plenty of profitable items that are ungated on Amazon. You can make 6-7 figures off of the ungated item. So don't think you have to get ungated in all these big brands before you can even get an opportunity to sell on Amazon. That's definitely not the case. So get out there, start with categories like books. You guys know I'm biased because that's the way I started back in 2010. Get out there. Even when they say you have to request approval, that does not mean you're gated. All you have to do is click that request approval. It may ask you to watch a short video, answer the questions. It's going to say you're approved, right? Now, if it asks you to upload a certain document, that means you have to go through the ungating process. So that means, quote unquote, you're gated, which I mean, it's not the alpha and omega. You can always purchase from an authorized supplier, send it in, and then you can get ungated. So don't let ungating stop you from starting your Amazon freedom business. And also, like my primary point, don't think you have to get ungated in everything before you start to make money on Amazon. The next common pitfall is worrying about things before they happen. Once you educate yourself, you go through Amazon's TOS or terms of service. Hey, let's get in the game. Don't worry about the what ifs or this could happen or coulda, woulda, shoulda. Get in there, take action, because sometimes you psych yourself out. I ran into that a lot. Just talking to newer sellers that want to get in the game. Well, hey, what if I do this and this happens? It hasn't happened yet, right? And sorry to be so blunt, but it has not happened yet. So let's get into the game. You already know the rules of the game. Let's get into the game and start taking action, right? Because if you think on something too long, you're always going to find a way to say no. Take that action. If something does happen, make sure you're in the community. Make sure you have a teacher. That way you can navigate the waters if they ever do get rough. And they will get rough. And that's in any business, right? You know, this is not a unicorn business where you're never going to have any issues. But as long as you have the right guidance, you're going to be able to navigate those waters, get through it, and they keep going, right? Because the great entrepreneurs, they don't stop at barriers. They continue to solve problems and keep going to that next level. Because most people, when they get to a barrier, guess what? They're going to stop. When it gets hard, they're going to get their emotions involved. And they're going to say, hey, I don't feel like doing it. This is hard. But the great entrepreneurs, the super successful, they remove emotions. They look at it logically and say, hey, I can do this, right? I don't care what the issue, what the barrier is, but if I can't do it, I'm going to talk and I'm going to connect. I'm going to network with somebody who can. We're going to add value to each other and we're going to take it to the next level. The number 6 mistake is whenever you look up or you find a particular item, you just look at the Amazon price and you don't calculate the fees that will be tied into it, right? So whether you're doing the method of FBA or you're doing FBM or a hybrid model, be sure to take into account all the fees associated with that particular product. Now we have apps out there that can make sure to calculate all those fees for you. I'll leave a link down in the description for all of those. But yeah, we got to make sure we know what's the bottom line, right? Because if it's $100 product and the weight is super heavy and Amazon is going to take up most of the fees and you purchasing it for $70, of course, we're going to be in the red or we're going to be in the negative. So don't get caught up with just seeing these big numbers on Amazon. Make sure you know how much money will be going in the side pocket National Bank. The 7th mistake is not taking a good look at the sales data, right? We need to look at the velocity of the sales to see how many times this thing is moving, especially if you're using the FBA model, because we know Amazon is going to charge you a monthly fee. And then eventually, if it's past 6 months, they're going to charge you a long-term storage fee. We need to see how many times this thing is moving per month and then factor that into whether we should do FBA with the particular product or should it be a merchant fulfilled product where we can keep it home or in your apartment, in your garage or a storage facility. So be sure to look at those numbers. It's going to help you project when you're going to get this next sale on this item. So Take a deep dive into that so that you can understand the trends, where the market is going, and how many times this thing is turning over each and every month. Number 8 is getting so caught up into making money and not understanding the rules before we start to play the Amazon game, as I like to call it. So be sure to read Amazon's terms of service. Also, shout out to Amazon Sellers University. Before you get started, I recommend that you always go through, look at the beginner's video so you understand this platform, right? So once you set up and get that active Amazon Sellers account, be sure to go through those instructional videos. It's going to give you a play-by-play. If you're a beginner, you really don't know how the platform works. That way you can familiarize yourself with the platform, with the rules, the things to do, the things not to do, so that once you get into this game, you can play it at the highest level. The 9th mistake is only using one fulfillment method. Some people will say, well, I'm only going to use merchant fulfill, or Travis, I'm only going to use FBA. It's good to do both. Test both, right? Use a hybrid model. As I said in previous videos, I still do both because it depends on the situation. You want to optimize your profits, right? And each item, it may make sense for FBA. This one may make sense for FBM. So it depends on the specific situation. How much did you buy it for? What's the sales velocity? How many times is it moving per month? Those are the things you need to take into account. Do not limit the tools in your toolbox, right? Be sure to leverage both because one may work better in that specific situation for your product. And last but not least, coming in at number 10 is thinking you have to always be the lowest price to move your product, right? Now, at the beginning, when you don't have any reviews, your value add for them to trust you, you got to get that ball rolling. Maybe you take, a haircut or a little bit off of your profit just to see that they can trust you. Once you get some positive feedback and you get that 5-star rating, start matching that buy box and be a little bit over. You don't have to be the lowest price to get the sale. A lot of people have that strategy in their head that they think, hey, I just got to be this lowest price just to get the sale. But that is not the case. For one, depending on the region, we've tested and noticed that people see different buy boxes, right? So I'm on the East Coast. I may see a buy box for the item. This seller AB store may be selling it for $20. Somebody on the West Coast may see another store in their buy box, which is that feature to offer on the product page. The CD store, which is a different seller, selling it for $22. So it's dependent on the location. The reason why it's different is because Amazon features the most trusted seller that's closer to the potential buyer, right? So they may see one, if they're in California over here, they may see a seller around that area where they can get it the same day, or at a facility where they can get it that same day or the next day. Same thing on the East Coast. If you in Florida, you in New York, wherever that you're living, you may see a buy box at a facility where you can get it the same day, a couple hours later, or the next day, right? So hopefully you guys received a lot of value from this video. Don't fall into these common pitfalls. Take advantage and level up your Amazon business. Love y'all. See you on the next one.